All right, all right. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. Just comment where are you from, and then we can begin the webinar. This is gonna be the super exciting webinar. Hey, Abdul. Hi, Basim. Hi, Des. Hi, Louis. Hi, Metanis. Hey, Pana. Hi, Prem. Hi, Shiva. Hello, everyone. Just comment where are you from, and we can begin this exciting webinar. Hi, Louis. You're from Bolivia. Awesome, awesome. Just come in, guys. I just wanted to know where are you from, because you're taking your precious time to attend this webinar, and hats off to you, because some people are staying in a different time zones. It's a night time, and you're taking your precious time to listen us, and you're excited about this topic, that you want to know what startups are struggling to hire top talent, right? So this is the today's topic. Awesome, awesome. Prem is joining from Chennai. Abdul is joining from Sri Lanka, Colombo. Basim is from Bangalore. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this webinar. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in for yet another episode of PitchGround Product Webinars, where we bring in amazing products. And this webinar is all about another incredible product. So stay tuned. I'm very much excited for the today's product show. Let me know in the chat box if you are also excited like me. Just type yes in the chat box. Just type yes in the chat box, so we'll also feel it. Yes, you're also excited like us. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Luis. Thank you, Prem. Awesome. All right, let's get started. Guys, recruiting top talent is hard, right? And it's time consuming too. You need to identify the best candidates, assess their skills, and make a decision quickly. If you're lucky, the average time to fill out a single position takes 42 days. And that doesn't even include the time it takes to find out the suitable candidates in the first place. And I've seen most of the companies are spending thousands of dollars to hire that single position. And it's not easy, or it's just about finding the best candidates. It's not it's a difficult job altogether. But to hire and to go to that process, and to have that interviews in place, and to maintain that regulations, everything, that compliances and all, it takes a whole lot of time, right? So for that, there are so many solutions that are available in the market, but we have bought you the incredible solution, that is HireBeat. So HireBeat simplifies talent recruiting by assessment with digital video interviewing and screening. HireBeat software makes it easy to identify the best candidates, so you can make a decision quickly and reduce your time to hire. Hello guys, this is your host Swapnil, and we have a Gabriel from HireBeat. Gabriel, if you can just take a moment to introduce yourself and share your entrepreneur journey before we dive into it, it would be fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be talking with all of you today. I've been helping lead organizations for 20 years, both in the nonprofit, non-government space, as well as in the for-profit space. I've been working in HR and HR-related roles for a large part of my career. And at first, I didn't realize they were HR-related, but when I was a CEO and COO, a lot of what you do is support HR and support your people. And that's what HR is really about. I have my MBA from Columbia University in the city of New York, Columbia Business School, and go Tigers, I think. Lions, Tigers, I don't know, Lions. I've helped all kinds of companies find their way, find strategic ways to improve their operations, to really leverage their vision. And I couldn't be more excited than I am today to share HireBeat with you, a company that I co-founded with my partner Ning Wei, and that really embodies everything I've learned over the last 20 years.
Awesome, awesome. We also love to hear about your company, the present team, and your HireBeat journey, because you said like you have been into the HR field since long time. And what problem that you faced, and that thought triggered your mind that you need to build a solid product like HireBeat?
So often when we are running companies, it's all about keeping things going. And we think, okay, what happens if the lights go out? What happens if a subscription lapses? Now all of our software is subscription-based. What happens if somebody's out sick? Okay, that's a problem, but you overcome it. The hardest problem is what happens when you have an open role, either because somebody left and you haven't filled it in time, or because you're growing. And growth is really hard. What I've experienced over and over and over again is this trouble with hiring. It takes forever for a variety of reasons,
Yeah.
from figuring out exactly what you need, finding suitable candidates, just the time it takes to schedule screening calls, to get your colleagues on board, to figure out what the offer is, that negotiate. I mean, it takes, we have this research that shows 42 days, but the truth is it's so often, at least in my personal experience, so much longer. I mean, think about the time just getting feedback from your colleagues when you're trying to hire somebody at any level. And you ask
Right.
your colleagues to interview them or to look at their resume and get their feedback, and you have to chase after them over and over again. And we're all busy. So even just that one email with approval from a colleague or your supervisor, or asking HR, just that one email, getting it back could take a week, just because we're busy.
Right.
Things happen. You have a short
Right.
week, and then you forgot to send the email, then they forgot to follow up, then you have to send it again, then they can't find it. Next thing you know, a whole week has gone by. And you know what happens? Often that candidate that you wanted ends up taking another job, or they just don't believe your company has what it takes, and they don't want to work in a company that's disorganized. So all
Right.
of those things together led me to want to create a solution. And when Ning and I first met, he was starting, he had started HireBeat and had started this amazing tool to do video interviews. But we had met at a time where I was COO of an HR consulting firm, and we had just installed a tool to help us hire people. And after installing it and setting it up, and we had spent months on it, I actually took it down because it was so much more work than it was helping us. Because we were doing what everybody does, what all of you do. We get
Right.
applications on LinkedIn and Indeed in a million different places. Then they're all in our email. They're all a mess. We try to organize them in a Google Drive, and maybe we have a Google spreadsheet or something, but a spreadsheet is just flat. There's only so much you can do with the information. Things fall through the cracks. Your brother's friend's niece's cousin says they want to apply, and you have to give them an interview. Next thing you know, it's a mess. Weeks and weeks and weeks have gone by. Well, these tools are supposed to help, but in my experience, they're enormously expensive, and they don't help because they're so complicated to use. And so when I saw what Ning was doing with video interviewing and realized how much time it saved, and told him about my experience, we started talking about what would it take to really build a tool that would actually make this easier for people. And that's HireBeat. And everything about HireBeat, everything I'm going to talk to you about today about your businesses, and if we have time, I'll even show you a little bit of HireBeat. Everything we're going to talk about is about how we optimize this process so you can get back to what you do best, to what your company is meant to do. And everything about HireBeat is optimized for that. It's optimized for speed and getting out of your way.
Awesome, awesome. Yes, yeah, I have also experienced this because in my initial job days, right, I was a HR coordinator, right? So we used to get so many bunch of resumes, right? And to assess that resumes, because we need to identify the right candidate for that role, or whatever job that company is offering, right? So it takes hell lot of time. Again, few people are just emailing us, what is the status of the job application that we sent you. Then so many emails, again we need to coordinate with the HR manager to take the status whether this person is shortlisted or not. Again we need to schedule the interviews, then it takes a lot of time. And sometimes it happens like I have already experienced that. I did the application for one of the posts, right? And I waited for 90 days. You
Right.
can't believe 90 days for that, and for that single position, right? And I have been chasing to the HR coordinator, HR manager, even though I wrote to an email to the HR head as well. Okay, they did not respond me. And when I received their email, the confirmation that you have been shortlisted, and we can schedule the next round in this is they are going to send me the offer letter and all that stuff. I got placed in some other place.
Right.
So
This is such a common
right,
problem. And think about how much waste we're experiencing as
right,
as people who run small businesses. I've worked in large businesses, but most of my career is in smaller companies.
yeah,
And when you think about the amount of waste, the lost productivity, and it's hard on your team too. These processes, they take your attention away from your team. Your team is missing resource that they need because they need this other person on staff. In small companies, you're 150 or less, you often don't have duplicate. So it means that if you have an open role, you're missing some kind of core function for your
right.
job. And that's a huge toll on your company. And so I, as a business person, operations person, I'm always thinking, how do we solve these problems? Not just for the person going through it, like you, the HR person or the applicant, but how do we solve it for everybody so that a company that exists to do X can focus on doing X and
Right.
not get mired down in the expense and time and energy that it takes to hire the right people. Not to
Right.
mention what happens when you spend all that time and you hire the wrong person. And
Yeah.
that becomes a huge problem. We see that every day with not just startups, but especially in startups who are moving quickly and growing quickly.
Yeah. It happens because, if the right candidate has gone, right, so you need to fill out that position as early as possible because you have tight deadlines, right? Sometimes it happens like you end up hiring a wrong person or the wrong talent for that position, and obviously the attrition rate are increasing in the industry because of that. The messiness which is happening in the recruiting and assessing process, because it wastes that energy, resources of that company, of that employee, and even though the candidate who is applying for, because he's keep on chasing, these people are keep on chasing, the communication gap and everything, they're
Yeah,
maintaining everything on the spreadsheet, paperwork, everything. There is no digitalization in that space, right? And HireBeat is the tool, right, who makes a digitalization into that space, which reduces the time, to handle this kind of processes, and also it reduces the cost which is involved into that hiring process altogether, which is
that's
a top notch problem that you're solving right now. That's pretty awesome. I'm impressed.
before we started, Swapnil, you commented on this painting behind me and thought, oh,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
a
I
digital
commented.
background. It's
Yeah.
a real painting. Well, this is a painting that makes me happy, and it's in the place where I work. And where I work,
Hmm.
3 days out of the week is home. I'm in the HireBeat offices 2 days a week, and the other
Hmm.
rest of the time I'm at home. And that's so many companies these days. So when you're hiring, you can't rely on walking into the HR manager, or most of us don't have HR managers, walking to somebody else's office and talking to them about a candidate, or quickly, pulling the file. Paper files, actually, I used to think were so much easier than digital, because the problem with digital is you easily lose it. And so HireBeat is all about solving that problem, because I'm going to be in the office, on next week, I'll be back at home the next day, and back and forth. And I want to make sure that the process doesn't stop just because I'm moving where I am. I mean, I have colleagues who have worked from vacation, who have gone away for months to, live somewhere else with their family and work from their laptops. There's no reason nowadays for our tools not to work with us and make our lives easier, get out of the way, and let us hire the people we need to focus on the goals of our company.
Right. Awesome. That is pretty amazing story that you shared. Like, you have been experiencing that problem, you identified that, and you built a solution of high. But awesome. So I think it's time to dive into the product itself. Or we are really excited to learn more about it. So if you can just share your screen and like just showcase product and the things that you wanted to share with us, where that would be great.
Well,
And
so
guys,
should I start?
sorry to interrupt you. And guys, if you have any questions related to the product that we are going to demonstrate, or any of the information that we are going to share with you, the insights of hiring industry, right? So just comment your question and answers, sorry, questions into the Q&A box, so that it would be easier us to, pick up those questions and answer all the doubts that you have.
Right. So I'm going to start by sharing, the topic. I want to go through very quickly, the 6 mistakes people make, because once you understand, first of all, I want this to be value add to everybody. You might not all use HireBeat. Some of you may already be customers. I want you to get out of this today what every company can learn from my experience and from our experience at HireBeat. So we're just going to go through this. So number one, miscalculating the number of employees that you need. This is by far the most interesting problem to me. Why is it the most interesting? Because we have trouble understanding what our companies need. And so we end up thinking in a high growth mode, for example. Let's say we get some investment, we start hiring like this real fast. And then what happens? We don't necessarily hire the right people, or we hire too many. Maybe we hire great people, but we've hired too many, and this is actually more often the case, we hire too few. We're trying to save money. Maybe we don't have investors. We're bootstrapping it. We're bringing on some new staff, and we say, hey, why don't we get a part-time person to do this job when we really need a full-time person? We really need 3 people, not 1 or 2. Sometimes we need fewer people who are better than more people who are lower level, because we don't have the capacity to train. So that's number one. I see there's a question. Swapnil, I'll leave it to you to interrupt me and
Yeah, sure.
okay. So the way you overcome this problem. And it's a real problem. Now, I come from workforce strategy. I was global director of workforce strategy and people analytics at an international firm. I love workforce strategy as a concept. The way you overcome this problem, miscalculating the number of employees you actually need, is by stepping back and rooting yourself in what your plans are, your strategic plans for your company. You want to account for the plans you have for your products and services. Are they going to grow? Are they going to change? Are you going to be adding new features? Are you going to need to sell more? What is it that's going to be happening with their actual product or service? And let that guide you into understanding who you need on your team. You need to develop a future vision for your company structure. Yeah, you hire right today, you hire one, you hire two, and we're all going to move quickly, and you shouldn't stop moving quickly. But you got to think to yourself, what kind of company do we want to be when we're twice the size, 3 times the size? That is so important, because if you hire the wrong people now, you might find that your structure doesn't work later. You have too many leaders and not enough workers. You have too many workers, but nobody leading them. And then when one of them leads, they own too much of it. You don't have a documentation person, and now your code is all in somebody's head, and they're not responsible. There are all these things you have to think about. Do you want hierarchical structure? Do you going to have departments, divisions? How is that going to work? Who's going to report to you? Who's going to take responsibility? That's going to make hiring so much easier. Consider your ability to train. If you hire 3 people at a low level, because boy, you got a great, you could command a low salary, and the market allowed it, which by the way now isn't so much the case these days. And we're doing a lot of research on the impact of inflation and unemployment on hiring. But sometimes we're tempted to hire younger people who are smart and quick and good at whatever it is we need. This often happens in social media and marketing, right? So,
Yeah.
oh, our marketing will hire someone young who uses TikTok. Well, you might need someone with a little bit more experience. That might cost you more, but instead of hiring 2 younger people to do it, you hire 1 more professional person. And then, of course, all of this is really just about aligning with your strategic goals and the expected output of that person. Remember, when you're hiring for a reason. So you have to ask yourself, what is that person going to be bringing to the company? And when you start thinking that way, you start thinking, can that person bring everything I expect? Or do I really need 2 people or 3 people? Or I'm hiring 3, do I really need 2 or 1 so that I'm aligned with my vision? All right, number 2, failing to establish a budget. Boy, we think hiring isn't it doesn't cost us money. It's when we employ someone. Well, the truth is, there's money spent everywhere. And HireBeat helps you solve a lot of this. We have programmatic job advertising and candidate sourcing built in that save you tons of money. And in fact, we're often telling our customers, don't spend money on external job postings until you know you need it. Because we are small business owners like you. So think about your budget. How much you're going to spend on job posting, on advertising, on sourcing. What is the total compensation going to be for this person? That impacts when they're going to start. Because if you think of that total compensation every month, that's going to cost you. So are you ready for them to start next week? Or do you really need them to start 2 months from now for your budget to work? What is it going to cost you to train them? They don't come on board and suddenly become productive. And are you going to have to pay for external training? And remember that time is money. So Swapnil, you were saying before about your experience hiring and as an applicant, that's a lot of time spent. And all that time you were spending as an HR manager, trying to hire someone, that's time you weren't spending on helping the company grow, right? I mean, you were, because hiring the right people helps them grow, but think about how, if you were able to do that more efficiently, how much more you would have been able to do for the company. Number 3, not setting a hiring process timeline. This is a process and there is a timeline, and you need to think through your deadlines. So listen, set deadlines. Here's my short list. Who's going to write the job description? When are they going to have it done by? Who's taking care of posting and advertising? When are they going to have that done by? Now, again, in HireBeat, this is all done in one place. Super simple, super easy, saves you huge amounts of time. You don't have to log into LinkedIn and Indeed and ZipRecruiter and you're like a million different places to create accounts and post it there. And did I post it? Did I post the right one? Oh, and change. You don't have to do any of that. HireBeat, it's all centralized. It's incredible. But however you're doing it, set a deadline for that. Just put this down on a piece of paper. Go old school. It's okay. Just have a little Post-it note on your computer and just write, what are these deadlines? Or put them in Slack so everybody knows. When are you accepting applications until? It's very tempting to say, well, we're just going to accept until we found the right person. Often you need to extend that deadline, but my recommendation is start with an application deadline. Put it on the job description, let people know, because that ensures that you keep moving. Now, you don't find the right person, you extend it, but then you're in control and you're making a conscientious decision about it. When do colleagues need to review? Whether we're reviewing resumes or doing interviews, do they need to set time aside? so that you know applications are coming in by X date and they have 2 weeks to get their reviews of candidates done. Let them know so they can set time aside and you know what to expect from them. Otherwise, it can drag on and on and on. Believe me, I've been there. When are you going to make a decision by? You get those colleague reviews back, you're looking at the data, you've done additional interviews, you got to make a decision, decide when that is. And this last one goes back to the budget. What's the start date? You know, if you wait too long, you're often going to lose a good candidate. If you start too soon, you might be spending more money than you have.
Yeah, yeah.
Number 4, forgetting to advertise the position correctly. So a lot of us think, well, I'm just going to put it out on social media and I'm done. Okay, that sometimes it works, often it doesn't. So 1, when we talk about advertising a position correctly, we're also talking about what the advertisement looks like. Language matters. Lots of studies show that different language attracts different types of people. And there are some great studies about the language in job descriptions attracting women versus men. So language matters. Think about how you're describing your company. And then when you think about your advertising, think about where you're putting it. Use your networks. Have every employee and your spouses and significant others and your friends and your college friends post your job for you on their social media. So when you post it on HireBeat, you just put in your job description, you'll get a link. Share that link with everyone and ask them to share it with everyone. That's often a great way to find new employees. Use programmatic advertising. This is the best kept secret in hiring. Programmatic advertising, sort of like, think about Google ads or Facebook ads, but instead of just going to one of those, we have an algorithm that takes your job and puts it in places on job sites where people who match your profile, your ideal candidate profile, are. And this is great because instead of just spending a lot of money in one place or paying a lot of money to, you know, a couple of places, start with programmatic advertising. You get a lot farther. And if you combine that with all of your network sharing, your company sharing on social media, you're going to get a lot of the same candidates that you would spending a lot more money posting paid ad, job ads on a few of the biggest sites, which, by the way, those big sites are hard to navigate because there's so many jobs. It's hard to find the one that's right for you. So combining networks and programmatic advertising is huge. And then just think about where will your ideal candidate be looking, right?
Right.
Are they going to be looking at their company, at their college or graduate school alumni career page? Are they going to be looking on social media? Which social media network are they going to be looking on? Where are they going to be? What sites are they going to be on? And be where they are. Networking is a huge part of this, but just in terms of advertising, and we'll get to sourcing in a bit. All right, let's move on. Number 5, failing to write an accurate, detailed job description. So I mentioned this earlier, all about language, really, really important. Now, when you're, especially today, this is an employees market, it's a job seekers market. There are more job openings than there are people taking jobs. So you got to make sure that your company and the role that you're filling come across accurately, truly, and impressively. You want to make sure anybody reading that job description really understands and is impressed by this. And what do I mean by impressed? If it's the right job for them, they'll be impressed. If it's not the right job for them, they won't, and that's fine. So you want to make sure you're writing in a way that's going to excite the person who you need in that position, right? You don't want somebody who you describe a company that's not really you, because they're going to fail on the job. It doesn't matter if they have the skills, if they don't match the culture and values, they'll fail.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. You want to make sure you're true to who you really are. So convey your true culture and values. Define what success is. I read so many job descriptions. I read them all the time. Both people are posting on HireBeat, and as part of our research, we're always looking at how people write job descriptions. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how many of them, summarize it all with ability to work in a fast-paced environment and shift gears on a moment's notice. And all I see, boy, that's somewhere I'd never want to work.
Yeah,
it's too disorganized. It's not for me. I'd fail there. Now, I work fast. I speak fast too. But what those job descriptions don't do is give me a sense of what does it mean to succeed there. If succeeding just means always being on and always being responsive, well, I don't know if that's me or not, because you haven't told me, you haven't given me a way to know when I'm doing right. So that's really important. What are the reporting and decision-making structures? Boy, so many times you read a job description and it's unclear if you're basically going to be the CEO or, report to the CEO, or you're, 12 rungs down in a hierarchy, or, you're an independent contributor. So just be clear about it. And then, of course, get feedback and proofread. Don't just ask your colleagues because none of them have time and they'll be like, oh, this looks great, right?
Yeah,
Go to
it
your
happens
friends.
because most of the JDs that I have seen, right, those are copy pasted across.
Mhm.
Those HR managers or the recruiters, what they do is they just copy paste those values or those JDs, and you will find the same thing all over the space, right? So they are
Right.
not clearly defining what talent they want or what positions they have and what people they want, right? And end up because of this, it end up confusion within the that team and the person as well, because that person doesn't have what is that position, what are the roles and responsibilities that he has to go through it, and it clear. So even though I'll share one of the experience, right? So one of my friend, she was a HR manager, and it was a big company. It was a BPO, so they hire different positions, right? So what she used to do is she just post it on the different sites on the social medias, right, about the opening. But do not clear out what kind of position it is. She do not clear out the job descriptions that
Mhm.
they supposed to put in on that email or whatever post that they are going to make it. So she collects the data, and after collecting that data, she start analyzing which is the right candidate, which is the right fit person for this position. So why to do that kind of stuff, right? It's a silly job, or you're wasting your time, not investing, you're wasting your time into doing that kind of messy work, right? Just clear out what you want, so that the person who is going to apply, he will have the clear guidelines, he will have the clear identifications, and he will analyze himself that, okay, I'm fit or not for this kind of
Right.
position, right? And then he'll go ahead and apply that position. But this is not happening. They are just greedy while collecting the data. What you're going to do it? Nothing, right? Because
Right.
you're
It's
wasting
what a
your
waste of
time.
time. You want a great person. Sometimes I've interviewed people who I think, wow, they're really great for this job. But then later I realize
Uh,
I'm not clear and they're not clear on what the
yeah,
job is.
right. This
So I
happens.
like them. They're smart. They're talented. They'd probably be a net positive for the company, but neither of us are really clear on what we need.
Right.
And that's a really dangerous place. When customers tell us, oh, I want to get hundreds of applicants, I say that's unlikely if you write a really great job description.
Yeah,
For
that is
most
not a
jobs, right?
big achievement, right? If you're receiving for a one position, if you're receiving hundreds of the applications, so that is not a big achievement. You should at least receive 5 applications that are the
Right. And
top notch. Yeah.
that's why we recently launched, and so that's why I always recommend programmatic job advertising. It's our one of the ways we can help boost your job description because it gets you better people usually. It's why I say share with your networks because those are going to be the kind of people that you want, right? The people you've already hired are going to tend to know the kind of people you want. You got to be careful about it, but it's a good way. And that's why we've recently launched sourcing. So HireBeat is all about sourcing and screening one. So part of sourcing is the advertising and getting it out there. And we've worked really hard to make that effortless and really effective. But we now have sourcing in it so that you can just click a button and we will generate for you a list of 40 to 50 people who match your ideal candidate profile, and you can start emailing them and contacting them. These may be people who aren't even looking for a job, right? But this is about getting the right person. Now, if you're hiring for a call center, there are jobs in which you're going to get lots of response, and that's fine, and that's what you need. But most of the time, small businesses are not in that position. So, and then the final thing is lacking a clear understanding of the applicant's goals. We think about what we need as a company, but a big part of a fit is understanding the applicant because they may have the skills, you might have a clear job description, they may say they want it, and they seem like someone who could do the job. But if you don't understand what they really want to achieve, what drives them, why they're looking for a new job, where they want to be in 5, 10 years, that's why people ask that question. And people think it's a silly question. It probably is a silly question to ask because none of us, it's not easy to say. And also when you're interviewing for a job, you don't want to say, well, in 5 years, I want your job. But you want to be thinking about that. You want to tease out and understand their goals. So the way you avoid this mistake of hiring someone not really understanding where they're trying to go, right? You may find someone who's great and they're different than your job description. That's usually the case. We hire people who aren't exactly what we envisioned because we find a better person for a variety of reasons. And maybe one of their goals is to move up really quickly. They want to be a manager, and this is a position you didn't anticipate being a management position. But maybe the fit is so good that you think, wow, if they're able to grow it, we would need a bigger team, right? So things like that, you want to think about and know who they are and what drives them so that you can support them, because you want to keep them in your company for a long time. That is, going to be a net positive for your company. They might not be in the same position all the time, but you want to understand where they're going. So make sure there's a culture and values match. Make sure you can offer them room to grow, and make sure this is really the job they want, not just the job they want right now because they need a job. This happens a lot. And you know what? I've done it in my consulting days, and I do executive coaching. Sometimes I'll find myself accepting a project or a coaching client because I have an empty slot, but it's not really the project or client I'm best suited for, right? And that's a dangerous place. No one wins. So make sure this is really the job they want. And that comes back to clarity. See, items 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 in this list. You want to be really clear for yourself and for the candidate so that their goals and yours match up. So those are the 6. Now, these are a big part of what's behind building HireBeat, because there are a lot of tools out there that help you hire, and there are other tools that help you source, and it's kind of a mishmash, and you end up spending tons of time and money on lots of different sites. So we said, what if we can make this all in one, and we want it to be easy? We have this design philosophy at HireBeat we call it the toaster philosophy. When you walk up to a toaster, you know how to use it. Right. Done. So we think hiring should be that way. So our tools should be that way. So we have tons of cool tech behind the scenes, but we make it so easy because we want to optimize the hiring for startups and small businesses to be fast, so you can get the right people quickly. Often we say, hire the right people in a heartbeat. So sourcing and screening in one. By sourcing, we mean all the advertising, getting a sourcing list, reaching out. Instead of getting a recruiter, you pay 25% of first year salary. So that can be tens of thousands of dollars. Often, the trick there, what makes it better is that they're reaching out to people. So our sourcing lists are huge. We have all this advertising, programmatic job advertising, manage all of your job posts on any almost, and we have thousands of options. Almost anywhere you can post a job, you can manage it through HireBeat. So it's one place. All applications from all these places come into one place, and our AI resume system reviews and tells you what it's seeing. It doesn't just give you a score, because that's useless. Let's be honest. It tells you where things match and where they don't, and you as a human make a decision. So sourcing and screening in one, that's the screening part. It's resume review, video. I'll show you that. So instead of doing a screen, when you're hiring somebody, Swapnil, and you have let's say 5, 6 candidates, and then you do these screening calls.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be 15 minutes 15 minutes or less. Well, it takes you an hour to just set them up. They don't have a time. You don't have a time. They didn't get your email. You got their email. The Calendly link didn't work, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So now you've already spent an hour on what's going to be a 15-minute call. And then you have a 15-minute call, and within the first 30 seconds, they're not right, or they're not right, or they have to cancel last minute, or they're outside because their subway was late and they didn't get home in time, or you're just in a bad mood because we're human beings and we have bad days, and so you're not giving them all of your attention. Those 15-minute phone screening calls end up taking us hours and hours and hours, dozens of hours, just to set those up and have them. And then you're the only one who is on that call with that candidate. Yeah. So we fix that. We have this incredible asynchronous video screening system. You put in up to 5 questions. We have a great bank of questions that you can choose from, or you write your own. And we have candidates that are ready for that. Instead of calling and try to schedule, the system sends them a link. They go on, they're able to see the questions, look at it for 30 or 60 seconds, and then answer. The video is recorded by the website. They can do it once, and it's saved, and move on to the next question. It's just like a phone call, right? You don't actually on a phone call ask them a question and then wait a full minute for them to think of an answer, but we give them some more time, and it's great. And what's also amazing about it is that not only do you get to review it, but anyone in your company who you want to can review it. You just put in their email address, and they can review all of the video interviews. Amazing. We have the world's easiest collaboration. We set out to make this thing kind of disappear so you can just hire. So we decided, what was collaboration be? You go to a stage in your hiring process for a job, you click add reviewer, put in their email address, boom, done. And they can just see everyone in that stage, whether it's the resume review or the video or the interview list. And they can write notes. They can give thumbs up, thumbs down. None of these, these scorecards, which look so cool. And I use scorecards and I've written scorecards and they're very useful in many situations. But 90% of the time, when it comes to reviewers, you just ultimately need thumbs up, thumbs down, not 1 to 5 on 7 different things, because they don't know what to say and they're only speaking to the person for 5 minutes or 20 minutes. So we realize thumbs up, thumbs down, put in notes, and all of it to one place. They don't need to email it to you. They don't need to save it to a Google Drive. They don't need to find a Google Sheet to type it into. None of that. We have the AI resume review I already covered. And like I said, we have posting, programmatic job advertising, and sourcing all built in, super fast, super easy. I'm telling you, this thing is like a toaster. You walk up to it, you paste your job in, and you just have a few options, you're done. Other systems that I've used take weeks and usually many months to implement, many months to set up before you can start using them. And then once you do that, you got to use it, you got to stick with it for a long time, and everyone has to use it the right way. And then you find yourself not using most of the features. HireBeat, we're very proud, we've timed this, I've timed this multiple times myself. You can go from not using HireBeat at all, not even having an account, to posting your first job and using all of the features in 3 minutes. 3 minutes, awesome. That's it. So, do we want to answer some questions before I poke around the tool?
Yeah, guys, if you have any questions regarding the things that we have explained, the problems that we dive into it, and we shared some of the solutions, and we discussed some of the things, very insightful information that we shared. But if you have any questions regarding to that, so please ask your questions in the Q&A box. We would be happy to answer all your questions and the doubts before we dive into the another session of the product demonstration. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Should I go on? All right, this is HireBeat. Couldn't be simpler. No BS. You go in, you have jobs. To add a job, create a new position, put in some basic information, right? We don't ask for more than we need, right? If you have a system in-house to have job IDs, requisition numbers, we give you a field here so you can record it, paste in your job description, put in preferred skills. We got thousands, you just type whatever you need. We have an EEO statement. So if you enable that, it'll say, in this case, HireBeat, because that's our company, but it'll have your company as an equal opportunity employer, celebrate diversity. If you want to use your own, you can disable it and just paste it in the job description. We also have questions, the EEO questions. So if you're a company that's required to collect that information, you can collect it. And that will ask them for compliance, the diversity and inclusion questions for compliance. You will not be able to see that per employee, right? That's just stored in the back end, and we can produce a report for you for compliance purposes. The application form, do you care about their location? Nowadays, a lot of times we don't. Their phone number, I always say require it, but it's up to you. And their LinkedIn URL. And then we have screening questions. So let's say we need someone to have 3 years of experience in social media for this job. So we're gonna ask, how many years of professional experience do you have managing a social media account for a top executive? I'm just making this up as we go. And this is a numeric. So we're going to say, let's say we need somebody, they got to have at least 3 years. Like this is a position. And for social media, this is like, that's a long time for somebody who's managed, accounts. So we're going to say 3 years. And if we want, we can make it a must-have. And what that means is that this person's application will be received. But if their answer is, let's say 1 or 2, that they will immediately be rejected. You'll be able to see them and unreject them, because again, we don't think machines should be making HR decisions for you. But this way, it gets rid of people who are disqualified themselves. But if they answer 3 or more, they'll be moved along. And you can ask up to 3 screening questions. And then we have our broadcasting. So you can say, look, I'm not broadcasting this anywhere. I just want the link and I'll share it. Standard, we go to 200+ job boards. It gets out there to way more. Google picks it up. We're doing great work here, and we're always optimizing it. And then we have premium, and this is our programmatic advertising. Instead of making it complicated, we've simplified it. We have this great algorithm, $200, and this usually gets people like the right 2 to 3 candidates that they need. But we are very, we're just like you. We want to save money and we want to do it quickly. You can always come back to do this. So you can do standard and then come to it later. So we're not going to actually do this right now, but we can save it as a draft. We can preview it. We also have great analytics. So you go into analytics and you'll see, I mean, this is a demo account, so, not much stuff. And you can see about video interviews and how things have shaped up. So you'll see various data points here, and we're always adding to analytics, and we're very responsive. If you're a user of ours and you have an idea or something you want to see, let us know. We put it on the list. That's what matters. We want to make this work for you. We have API integrations. So if you have an ATS, an applicant tracking system, and you're not just using HireBeat as your ATS, some people just use us for the video interviews. No problem, we can integrate there. We're also happy to work on other integrations for you. Just let us know and we'll make it standard. This is our, where we manage our profile. And what's great is that you get and again, this is, okay, so it's working, demo account, you never know. You get a website, basically, that you can share, you can link to from your website that has all your open jobs. So it makes it, so this is the one place when people say, oh, are you hiring? You say, here, go here, right? And they can go to the job, see the description, and choose to apply, right? So super simple. You can click apply now. There's our EEO statement, enter the application, all right? These are the EEO questions, submit, okay? Super simple, everything goes into one place. We're also working on a new feature that'll be coming out hopefully in the next couple months so that you can actually embed this on your website, right? So you can embed your list right on your website. So smarter people than me are working on that. All right, so let's dive into what it actually looks like. Go to jobs, again, super simple. We got rid of all of the cruff. So we're gonna click on this close job. Oops. Let's see. Of course, now, because I tested it and it's a demo account, it's now going to be wonky for me. I apologize to everyone. Because it's decided. Let me get us in there, okay? Bear with me. It's going to get us back in. You see, this is what happens when you prepare in advance. I always say, don't prepare in advance. So we're going to go in with, where's the right account? So many demos. All right, here we go. So again, super simple. And this is one of the first things we realize is people just want to see what is happening with their job. So you go into the job and everything you need is right here. I can see a total of 27 candidates, 13 of them rejected right of the total, rejected. 11 got to the resume review stage. Those are basically your new candidates. 2 of them are still there. 9 of them were rejected. Now, 8 of them, however, right, moved on to the video interview stage, right? So this is 11 that are still in the resume review stage, meaning there are 2 active and there were 9 who were rejected at this stage. But there are 9 at the video interview stage, 8 are active, 1 got to that stage and then was rejected. Another 6 moved on to the live interview stage, okay, and so on. And this is what I was telling you before about our super simple collaboration. Click add reviewer, put in a name and an email and say which stage do they have access to. Done. That's it. There's no complicated place you have to go to set up users and accounts and all that stuff. You can request sourcing. Just tell us your ideal candidates.
Sorry to interrupt you. So that means we can move the people from different buckets, right? In that funnel. For example, if any candidate is in the video interview phase, so I can move that to the below one by doing that option.
So here's an example. Here's an actual candidate, their video interview. I can watch it super speed. Boy, is this nice. Instead of those 15-minute calls that sometimes you can't stand, you just put it on 2x. We have an automatic transcript. You can watch their answer to the question. 1, 2, 3, go to the next candidate. I'm logged in as like the hiring manager, but if you were a reviewer, what you'd see here is a thumbs up and thumbs down, and you'd put in notes. And because I'm the hiring manager, I don't have that. I just have, move stage or reject. And if I click move stage, there we go. Whoops, see, because this is what happens when you prepare. that would give me that you would be able to see, but because I've used actual candidates that I populated this with, I didn't want to share their information. But behind that, you would be able to move them to those different buckets, right? See everybody's evaluation notes in one place right here, and you can message them over here. You just click email, and let's just edit this blur for now. Okay, we're going to turn that off. See how cool that is? That's another tool I'm happy to share if people want. We have all these templates, so you can email candidates individually or in groups to let them know what's going on. You were talking about that also earlier, Swapnil, about how complicated it can be. So this is the individual stuff. This is what one of them looks. So this is the live interview section, that stage, right? And I can go in here, I can adjust what round they're in. We went through back and forth. How do we do? You know what? Nobody wants to do everything through us. We want to make it easy for you. You have a Zoom account or use Google Meet. We're going to keep building some of that stuff in. But when it comes down to it, we were going to make, you were going to customize every bit. Every job is different. At the end of the day, you have a first, second, third round, fourth, maybe fourth round, final round of interviews. You just mark where they are. And if you have team review, you will see like the total average or the up and down thumb, count for this person. So easy. And then you can send them an email. Click send email, and it'll just open up your email. I'm not going to subject you to my email account. So you can just write an email. You can configure the interview here. You can just change the names of these, but it's just first, second, third. We don't have it all complicated with branches and stuff. Nobody was using that. So we're always listening to you when you want. You can, and then of course you can filter it. Let me show you some more stuff. This is the video interview stage. We looked at the video interview detail, but they get to the stage. You send them an invite. They answer the questions. Here's how you edit questions. We have this great bank of questions. You can write your own. Let's say we like to say, have you ever failed to reach a goal? That's actually a great question. Click plus. Again, see, I do this. This is now because it thinks I'm logged out.
Yeah.
So it's going to be all weird. I apologize, everyone. There we go. Okay, have you ever failed? They're going to get that question. I could say, how long do they have to prep? Prep time is when they see the question before the video starts recording, 30 or 60. Again, think about a phone call. You don't wait 30 seconds for someone to answer a question.
Right.
But give them more time. It's a little awkward. And how long can their response be? And camera on or off. Now, here's a reason to turn the camera off. To avoid discrimination, right? And by unconscious bias, but we all do it. We all do it in some way, no matter what color skin we are, no matter who we're always judging people. And that's part of this process. One of the ways is to not look at their video. Now, sometimes it's really important. Sometimes it's helpful. I'm not saying you have to do it one way or the other, but be conscious of it. And that's why we created this option to turn the video off, to just get their voice like a phone call, right? So some people say, well, why would I ever turn it off? Well, until now you were doing screening phone calls. We still do the screen phone calls, not usually Zoom calls for screening. So that's what we put in here. Here's their resume review. So resume review is essentially the first step, right? They come in, and if they haven't been rejected by the system, they come in and we have this score. We're always working on the score, but I always say, don't worry about the score. Let's go back to that person. Oops, no, I don't want you to see. Okay, we're gonna just go here. I don't want you to see data. We're gonna go to resume evaluation. And we tell you, again, this is a demo account, so it's a little wonky, but instead of just like hiding behind a score, we tell you how we got there. So often the scores are low, but we have great machine learning that we've built, AI rather, sorry, we have other machine learning in the tool, but AI here that goes well beyond just like matching. It's really like looking through for transferable skills related to your job description and the resume, and you go through it and decide is this correct, right? And yes or no. And so this is when we expose this, some of the users are like, yes, because every other tool just gives you a number and you don't know how it got there. So we actually say, we're trying to improve the number, help you. But the truth is, while we do that, what's more important is for you to be able to go in and see this. And this is like, think of it like a super summary of somebody's resume.
Right.
Okay. So it's just, again, everything here is optimized for speed. This is where you see all your candidates. So you can see what stage they're currently at and rejected or active. You can click in on them. Their names are blurred here, but you could click in and change that. You can filter. You can add a candidate. So if somebody does email you, you can add a candidate by just simply uploading their resume. That's all you have to do. And we take care of the rest. Okay, we'll move on. And then finally, I wanted to show you the sourcing list. So you put in your ideal candidate profile. You have a job. You've advertised it. you also want to be proactive. So normally this is like the big thing that recruiters do. Now, recruiters are great for a variety of reasons. But for most jobs, we don't need them, except that it'd be great to have someone who's actively finding something. Well, we made it easy. We have this great human in the loop AI that you put in the ideal candidate profile, and our system, which has a human involved in it, goes and finds you up to 50 candidates. Now, they might not be looking for a job, but we give you their email address and their LinkedIn. And if you were to click on it, I'm not going to do it because you'll see their information now. You would see their skills that they have and their info, their contact info, and you can speak to them. You get in touch with them. You know, they may not be interested, but they may be. And our customers love this because this is the secret sauce to finding the best people. Right. So that is HireBeat. Essentially, it's all about the job. Create position, and everything you need is right in here. Done. Now we have this new thing because I'm on the staging server. I'm not going to click on it, but we have this new thing. All right, this great partnership with Job Target. From this button, I can post to thousands of places, including LinkedIn, Indeed, you know, paid stuff, right? And I can manage it all here. Think about how much time and energy that saves by not having to go to a million different sites and manage your job postings.
So this is different different than the posting of job, the new feature that you're talking about.
Right. So this is in addition. What we always say is that we optimize HireBeat for speed. Right. And so we build in all the tools that 80% of the time are going to get you what you need. Right. But we never want to be a bottleneck. We're a hiring hub. So we've built in sourcing for when you've posted and you've done the premium posting, and sometimes you don't get what you need, right? Jobs and candidates are like selling a house. The only people who are going to buy your house are people who need your house, right? It's not just anybody who could, right? It's someone who might need it 6 months from now doesn't need it now, or doesn't have the money, right? So it's the same thing. So sometimes it doesn't work. So we built in sourcing, and boy, sourcing is incredible. Now it's just people, basically our customers just do it first thing because they get this list, they go through it, they approve and reject, and then they take the ones they approve and they just contact them, and they end up having some great conversations and finding new hires. But Job Target lets you specify. So let's say our algorithms and are sharing to hundreds of sites, including ZipRecruiter. So enough, you don't have to keep going to ZipRecruiter. We have a great partnership with them. They're a great company. You'll show up on Google Jobs and ZipRecruiter and hundreds of sites. But sometimes you just need, even after sharing on social media and so on, you need more exposure, and you need to put that paid job post on LinkedIn, right, or Indeed, or you want to put it on 100 college, you know, or I mean, there's so many other thousands, I don't even know. It's just a great marketplace, but you can do it all in one place. And that's the secret. This is a hiring hub that, as you can see, I mean, I've shown you guys a lot, but it's so simple. It's so easy. You know, even though everything essentially looks the same, these are all just lists with great features built in, no configuration. In fact, let me show you our settings page. My name, I can remove reviewers and hiring managers. These are samples, so these are just other versions of me. I can change my password. And if you're a PitchGround customer, you enter your promo code here. That's it. That's it. Yeah. There's no managing of users and setting up systems and stages, because you know what? Our research shows that everyone has basically the same needs when it comes to that.
Right. It's pretty simple, right? And I really liked about the on top of it, all these features, you're offering a programmatic advertisement, right? Most of the people don't know that. They feel like, advertising on Facebook or Google, that's it. They will get, right fit candidates and thousands of applications, but that's not the right, advertisement method that you need to follow, because you have to target, you have the targeted audience, and you need to reach there to identify those target audience, right? So on top of it, you're offering that kind of services. That is pretty awesome job that you guys are doing.
Boiled down. Have you tried to post an advertisement on Facebook lately? I mean, by the time I'm done, I've got 38 tabs open. I don't know what's what.
Yeah.
We've boiled it down to be super simple. Again, it's designed so that you can get on with your day and build your company.
Awesome, awesome, pretty awesome. So one click post to 200 plus job boards, centralized application management system, easy social sharing, free career page with company logo and branding, easy to implement with no coding knowledge required, because we have just seen the setting page. There is there is very few information that you just have to fill in,
There's
right?
nothing, and you're
There
still
is
getting
nothing.
an
Yeah,
AI resume assessment and
right.
video interview system and live interview tracking and notes from your collaborators and thumbs up, thumbs down ratings. I mean, you're getting all of it, but you're not. It doesn't feel like it. It just feels like,
Right.
it's a
On the
toaster.
front end, it's just a simple thing that you just need to follow 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. That's it, right? And in the back end, HireBeat is doing heavy lifting with the help of AI. So you don't have to fill out each and every information of that
Right.
client, sorry, of that candidate, of that user, and drag here and there and fill out again, then share
And
with
set
your
it up and make decisions
subordinate.
every time we hire a job. We're going to
Right.
have these things and do those things. And what happens if it changes? And this reviewer, do I give them access? If I, how many times I've ended up giving, employees, when I've set up accounts for them on tools, you end up giving them access to like the bank account when you're just trying to let them see one candidate. Everything here is simplified and not dumbed down. It's simplified because it's optimized
Yeah,
for
it's
speed.
optimized. Yeah, yeah, and very intuitive UI and UX, because I've seen most of the job sites. It's hell complicated because you need to fill out lot of data, you know, and a lot of things are there. Because I told you beginning, I was a HR coordinator in my early job days, right? So I know I've tasted so many platforms wherein those are like instead of putting that data into those those sites, I could have written down on the papers, right? So this is very pretty simple, neat, and point to point system that you're getting from the highway, that you just have to fill out the necessary information. That's it.
Right.
Everything done, everything will be done by the AI, and they are doing heavy lifting, right? So you are just saying a simple dashboard in front of you, but at the back end, it's a lot of mechanisms are happening, because the system is selecting, system is analyzing, system is assessing everything they are doing. You just have to spend 2, 3 minutes or 5 minutes just to analyze or take the overview what is happening with your with your hiring
My
process.
favorite quote was one of our customers said when they
Uh-huh.
first came on, they said, "Oh yeah, we use this. I won't say the name. This very popular tool. That's a very good tool, by the way.
Yeah.
Very popular tool." And they said, "Yeah, we're using that, but I just kept logging in, not remembering how to find the candidates for my job." Now, can you imagine that? All these tools out there, and the users can't find candidates. And I've heard from other people, yeah, we implemented this new tool. It took us 6 months. We had 3 employees working on it, and we had the consultants from the company. I mean, and a tool that does essentially this.
Right.
And
Right.
then we had to train everyone in the company on how to use it. So we had to set up all this training. And think about the hundreds of thousands of dollars in time spent when all they get from it, all they want from it, is to be able to attract and source great candidates for their jobs, and then screen them quickly and make the right hires.
Right.
All
Right.
that other stuff that looks great in a demo, they never used. Never used.
Right. Right.
Because it's
Awesome.
not
Because
helping
yeah,
you get your job done.
yeah, yeah. Because we talk more about the hiring process, but again, screening is very complicated process, right? It's very complicated, very time consuming, very resource consuming as well, because
Well, what
you
if
need
it was
to
as easy as looking at a candidate, thumbs
right.
up, thumbs down, putting in a note, and then all you do is as a hiring
Yeah.
manager, you go to that list, you look at the votes, you look at all the notes, and you
Right.
say, am I moving them on to the next stage or not?
It's
That's it.
pretty simple, right? That's it.
That's what it
We
comes down
find,
to. And
yeah.
I'm someone, believe me, I can overcomplicate anything. Ask my co-founder Ning, ask Jing, ask anybody in my company, anyone who's ever worked with me. Trust me, I can overcomplicate anything.
Awesome. Awesome.
HireBeat is all about the opposite.
Yeah. because it happens, back and forth communication, email, video calls, voice calls, that people doesn't that people the candidate do not have time, the person who is hiring do not have time. Then they're finding a right time, but the thing is that the infrastructure is not there. Right. And
Right. And you
yeah,
just miss people.
yeah, which is
You just
this
make a
happens.
mistake. When we first started this, I gave my very first demo to somebody when we were building. It was much smaller than this. And I said, look, this is as easy as using a Google form and Google
Yeah.
Sheets to hire, but with a lot of other features. And they said, okay. So I give them the whole demo, just like I did
Uh-huh.
here. We didn't have quite as many features, but in terms of setup, right? You click remember we did this, right? We click the create new position. We
Mhm.
enter in the information, right? We select, and then we publish. And I said, you see, it's just like, if you were fancy and you did a Google form, so all the applications came into a Google Sheet. And I get through the demonstration. It takes all of 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, today I've shown lots of stuff, but the truth is, if I demonstrated this one-on-one and I wasn't trying to like hide people's information, it's really very simple, right?
Yeah.
So I do it, and I get to the end of the demonstration, and the person says, you said this was as easy as a Google Sheet,
Yeah.
using a Google form to be organized. And I said, yeah. And he said, you're wrong. And I said, oh, frick, what? How did I what am I missing? I can't, I didn't impress, blah, blah. And he said, this is so much easier than
Oh.
using a Google form. Now think about that. A Google form, you go onto your Google account, we all have it, you click
Yeah.
add form. He said, well, I said, what do you mean? I said, that's nice. What do you mean? He said, go do it. And he made me do it. So I launched a Google form. I should have done it today. I launched a Google form, new one, and I put
Mhm.
in, okay, I need their first name and last name. Okay, I want their email. I start thinking through what I want from them.
Yeah.
And so that alone took me more time.
Yeah.
And then the branding isn't right. I said, oh, wait, where's our logo? I need to find our logo to put it in. And the color isn't right, even though we have a company template, something went wrong. Okay. Oh, then you don't share it right. How many times has it happened to you? You create a Google form, you share it, and you're sharing the edited version, and nobody can do anything with it because they can't edit it, right? You have to share the right.
Right. Right.
And then I said, okay, all right. So, but if you have a template, he said, yeah. So far, you've already spent way more time doing the Google form than just using HireBeat, which is designed for this. And I said, yeah, okay. But then you've done. He said, yeah. And then what do you have? It goes
Uh-huh.
into a Google form,
Uh-huh.
a Google Sheet. I mean,
Yeah.
well, where are your reviewers going to put their information? You have to create a new column for each reviewer, and they forget, or they overwrite somebody else's information by mistake. They have to find the Google Sheet. You have to send them the link, then send it to them again, and then pin it on Slack because no one can ever remember what job you're hiring for. Then new candidates come in, and you have to let them know that there's a new candidate. Right? It's all this stuff, and I was like, wow, I didn't think about that, because I thought,
Uh-huh.
when I thought I was being fancy for companies I was helping, we'd use a Google form to like save money and be organized. This is even easier than using a Google form. I mean,
Yeah.
think about that. And you get what you don't get with that, no matter what, is you don't get all the AI stuff and the video stuff and the collaboration and the posting. You don't get the posting. I mean, how much
Yeah.
time? And then you have to get the company credit card, and you have all that stuff that you have to do, and log into a million different accounts to get all the job applications. And
Yeah.
there are
Yeah.
applications in a million places.
Yeah. And managing is again a different roller coaster, right? So
It's
in a Excel, they need to maintain all the accounts, all the
oh,
website name, username, password. They need to go and log in individually on each and every page, and they need to review the application. My goodness, it's whole lot of a whole lot of thing that they need to do it.
this is
Oh,
this is the toaster, a really good toaster. You walk up
yeah,
to it,
yeah,
it's so simple to use, you don't even think about it.
right,
And
right.
at the end of it, you get the perfect hire.
Perfect, perfect.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Guys, if you have any questions regarding the tool that we are demonstrating, this is pretty awesome tool that I have never seen. Because, and I told at the beginning that I have gone through this hiring process, and I have experienced myself, while applying to the different job roles in my whole career. Uh, so this is pretty annoying that you need to keep following with your with your hiring manager or whoever, HR, right? And if you are at that position where you need to interview so many people, do the screening, send an email, set up an appointment, set up an interviews again. Sometimes what happens is there are so many rounds, like 5 6 rounds, so you need to keep doing that again and again to evaluate a single person. For example, if you have 100 applications, right, for that 5 position, whatever the number of that position, and you have 5 interview rounds, so you are going to have 500 action items in your bucket, right? So that is pretty I'm not getting a right word, but that's heavy time consuming task,
And
right?
that's when things fall through, and that's when the right candidates fall through.
Yeah, that
I've
again.
had it happen. I've lost candidates.
Yeah.
Not to mention the lost productivity on
Yeah,
your end.
I told you, I waited for 90 days, you know, to receive a call or to receive a confirmation offer later from that company. And when did I receive that? I was placed into another company. They lost
Right.
me, right?
And if you go in, I want to just show you, if you use our email system. Oh, now I'm not gonna be able to do it anywhere. Well, I showed earlier how to send an email. Oh, here you go, email. You send an email here, that's how you let people know quickly. You don't have to, oh, I have to go remember to write them an email, let them know we're not hiring them,
Yeah.
or they're not moving forward. Here, you just send an email and you can customize it, and super simple. You insert the variable, their first name, their last name, whatever you need. So simple. Just save time, move on with your jobs. You're smart people doing more important
Yeah.
things. You need to hire. Hiring is important. It's not that this isn't important. It's just we're wasting time doing the unimportant parts of hiring and
Right.
not building our companies. I want you to build your companies so you're hiring more people.
Right. Awesome.
All right.
Awesome. Pretty awesome. Guys, I'll tell you why you need HireBeat right now. And here is what you're losing by not using HireBeat right now. You're spending thousands of dollars on hiring, not recruiting you're not reducing your average hiring time that we said at the beginning, that is 42 days. I'm not saying by my own. This is the study that has shown that filling up one position, it takes almost 40 to 45 days, and still using complicated Excel sheets to manage with no centralized data, no ability to make decisions based on data to improve your hiring accuracy. So these are the problems that you're suffering from. These are the problems you're going through right now if you're not using the tool HireBeat in your hiring process. Guys, don't spend weeks and months and thousands of dollars to fill out one single position. Instead, get HireBeat to lower your hiring cost and streamline your hiring process. This is super amazing tool with amazing UI and UX, because you don't have to fill out a hell lot of data into it, because everything is done by AI at the back end. You just have to do few clicks to get the right candidate for your position. That is we just say, like, it's simple than the Google form. Really, it's simple than the Google form might take 15-20 minutes, but HireBeat might take 5 minutes or more than less than that to hire a single position, to hire
And
a
you
single
get
candidate.
all the features of all the top tools, all the AI, the video,
Right,
the
right,
management, the collaboration, the security, the job, the career site, all that stuff you get,
right.
right? Which you cannot get with anything else. Not
Awesome,
not in a tool like this.
awesome.
And
And
all
guys,
that sourcing.
yeah. And guys, we are running a lifetime deal on pitchground.com. I'm just sharing the link in the chat box so that you can click on it and you can land on the page, the sales page of PitchGround. So I'll just walk you through about the plans and pricing that we are offering for the higher bid. So plan A is basic plan, starting with $49 for a lifetime, in which you will be getting one active job posting, standard job advertising, AI resume screening, applicant tracking, one-way video interview, team collaboration, and yes, PitchGround is offering 60 days refund guarantee with that plan. And we have one more plan. We have so many plans actually. So as per your requirements, you can go for those plans. So the next plan is plan B, that is Pro plan, $145 for lifetime, in which you will be getting 5 active job postings plus all the features of A plan and 60 days money guarantee, money back guarantee from the pitchground.com. Then we
Now,
have plan
I want
C.
to
Yeah.
clarify, Swapnil, that people sometimes don't understand. 5 active job postings means at a time, right?
Okay.
So it's not for the year, it's not for the month, it's at a moment. So
Okay.
if you have 5 jobs right now, you can post them all on plan B, and then you fill one of them and you close that job, you have an empty one that you can use, right? So you can constantly be hiring with this. It's not 5 for your life, for 5, it's 5 at any given time. So it's a lot.
It's a lot.
How
It's a
often are
lot.
you hiring 5 people at once or 10
No.
people at once, right?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the most suitable plan that I can say for the SMBs and small organizations, right? Then if you are a bigger organization, if and you are keep hiring people and in that position, so we have a bigger plans for you guys. That is Plan C Pro Plus, in which you will have 10 active job posting at the moment, right? And all the features that we just explained for the Plan A. Then if you're a company and you are keep hiring, for example, if you are running a call center or the BPO or the KPO, in that cases, what happens is, attrition rate is bigger, right? And people keep, quitting the job, and you keep hiring. In that stage is what happens is you need a bigger quota, right? So you can go for the plan D, that is job seekers and the professional bundle, in which you'll be getting unlimited interview stimulation and processes, unlimited AI or expert reports on your interview performance, unlimited job to job evaluation reports, access to top company tips and data, and 24 by 7 customer support service
Right.
from HireBeat. That is again a
This is for
bigger thing.
job seekers, right? This is not
Yeah.
for employers, it's for your job seekers. We got lots of people using this all the time because it's a great way for them to get ready for their interviews and to
Yeah.
really make sure they're, because just like we want you to be thinking about the match between an applicant and your company and the job you have open, we want job seekers thinking about that as
Yeah.
well. So we built a
Yeah.
whole tool for them. That's what Plan D is. So if you have anybody in your life who's looking for a job, this is a great tool. It helps them practice interviews, optimize their resume, get all this stuff. It's a fantastic tool. And at $49 for a lifetime, it's
Yeah, it's pretty
no
dope,
brainer.
right? No brainer, because you are investing peanuts to utilize this kind of solid tool in your organization, and yours. Uh, so you're spending $49, for example, and you are saving more than that. Means I can say $49,000 in a year, because we are speaking about the time that anyone is spending into this hiring process, and the amount of money that you need to invest in to in terms of resources to have that processes involved, or to to make that process smoother. So it's cost you a money, it costs you a time, and by investing this into a lifetime deal, you're saving all that money, all that time, right? It's a pretty solid tool, and which came on the lifetime deal on pitchground.com. So please go ahead and grab your HireBeat license today. I'm just again sending the link in the chat box so that it would be easier for you to click on and land on the page. Guys, if you have any questions regarding the plans and pricing that we just explained, or any of the questions regarding the tool and the features that we have showcased you, please comment in the Q&A section. We'd be happy to answer all your questions and the queries right now, because the time and the money that you're going to save from HireBeat is there, and it's no brainer, right? It's no brainer. And don't spend weeks and months and thousands of dollars to fill out one position. Instead, get HireBeat to lower your hiring cost and streamline your hiring process. You definitely do not want to miss out this on this deal. Grab your license right now, and grab your license today, because by delaying your purchase of HireBeat each day, you are overspending on your hiring process and not landing your ideal candidate. So guys, please click on the link and grab your this insane deal, which is come with the lower price tag, and you just have to spend that amount for a lifetime. No need to pay monthly or yearly, something like that. You just have to spend one time, and you can use this tool in your organization and your hiring process, and you can save so much, and so much time and money, right? And Gabriel, if you have anything to share before we wrap up, that would be great.
That's it. We're just super excited to bringing this to the world to help other startups and small businesses, you know, do what they do best with the right people. And we're going to keep optimizing HireBeat for your needs. We've gotten some amazing users that have come to us through PitchGround who are really engaged and you know, doing amazing things, having great success with HireBeat, and also sharing their thoughts and helping us shape the future. So we hope those of you watching join that group.
Awesome. If you have any Facebook community for HireBeat, you can share that in the chat box so that people can join your community if they want any support.
I don't have that link. I think you're in that community. I think you have that link. We'll make sure that link gets out to everyone who registered.
All right, not an issue. So guys, please, if you have any questions regarding the tool, regarding the plans and pricing, please comment in the Q&A section so that we would be happy to answer all your doubts, all your questions before we wrap up this call. I think so. We do not have any questions. We got one question from Des. He's asking that I'm interested in the unlimited deal with unlimited job postings. Look like it was taken down. So it was a promotional deal, and we have sold out all the licenses for that plan. So it is not available right now. So
now again, remember, unlimited job postings, it's about the number of job postings at once at the same time. Right. So 10 is actually a lot. Most people, we do have customers who post, you know, simultaneously more than 10 jobs, but most of the time, unlimited used to have unlimited lifetime with this. It's just 10 at a given moment. So the second you close a job, you have an open like spot you can use. So yeah, Des, you'll probably get what you need. You'll probably get what you need with Plan C.
Yeah, 10 is a lot more because if your company is hiring more than 10 people per month, that means you have a.
It's not even per month. You can hire, even with that plan, you can hire more than 10 people per month. It's just 10 people at the same moment.
Same moment, right? Same moment. If you're hiring 10 people in the same moment, that means you have a high attrition rate, right? You need to work on that because people are leaving that company, or people are quitting.
Or you're growing at such a speed that I've never quite experienced. But we're happy to talk with you. We don't have a plan through PitchGround. We had a great, yes, we did have like a just truly unlimited plan, but it just sold out fast. We're happy to work with people.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, Des, I'm sorry you had FOMO, fear of missing out. Thanks for your message. But again, you know, message us. I bet this Plan C is what you really need. In which case, we may have even saved you a little money.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right. So guys, I'll just reiterate why people are loving HireBeat over the rest, because the only solution offering job aggregation and job seekers assistance, the only solution offering resume evaluation and talent sourcing, the only solution offering applicant tracking system, on-demand video screen, and talent interview analytics. So very intuitive UI and UX we just have seen. I'm very impressed about the UI and UX because it's very simple, an incredible team, and very friendly founder, very robust enterprise ready solution. Guys, get your HireBeat lifetime deal code right now. And thank you so much, Gabriel, for taking your precious time out and sharing your some of the valuable information with us and demonstrating the tool. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll be seeing you in the next webinar. Till the time, take care, be happy, and keep improving 1% every day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Swapnils. Thank you, PitchGround.
Thank you. Have a good day, all.